The Grand Hall of the Galactic Council was a testament to interstellar cooperation, its arches and columns echoing the architectural styles of countless civilizations. Today, it was charged with tension. Representatives from every corner of the galaxy had assembled, their expressions a mix of curiosity and apprehension. All eyes were on the central podium, illuminated by a cold, artificial light. There stood Earth's representative, Kevin Marsh. Kevin was a tall, broad-shouldered man with piercing blue eyes and a resolute demeanor. His presence commanded attention, and as he began to speak, the hall fell silent. "Earth will never bow to the whims of this council," he declared, his voice clear and unwavering. "We believe in the sovereignty of every species and reject your so-called supremacy." A wave of whispers swept through the delegates. Some were shocked, others intrigued by Earth's defiance. At the head of the council, Supreme Chancellor Drazer, a figure with tentacled features and a silvery, glistening skin, glared at Kevin, his eyes burning with anger. "Then you leave us no choice," Drazer intoned, his voice dripping with menace. "The Galactic Council hereby declares war on Earth. Prepare for annihilation." Kevin met Drazer's gaze without flinching. "Do your worst. We'll be ready." As Kevin exited the Grand Hall, he quickly sent an encrypted message to Earth. "Stay calm. We expected this. Prepare our defenses." His heart pounded, but he kept his face composed. The declaration of war would soon be broadcast to the world, and he needed humanity to remain strong and united. Back on Earth, the news spread like wildfire. Screens across cities and towns lit up with the announcement. Yet, instead of chaos, a quiet determination settled over the people. Factories switched to producing weapons and defenses. Scientists worked around the clock, developing new technologies. Soldiers trained with renewed vigor, and ordinary citizens volunteered in droves, ready to defend their home. Kevin returned to his quarters, a modest room compared to the opulence of the council chambers. He reviewed the latest intelligence reports, grimly noting the vast armada the council had at its disposal. Earth's chances seemed slim, but Kevin knew the indomitable spirit of his people. A soft chime interrupted his thoughts. It was a message from General Claire Hayes, the head of Earth's defense forces. "Kevin, we've mobilized our fleets and are fortifying key positions. We won't go down without a fight." Kevin smiled, a rare moment of warmth in these dark times. "I never doubted it, Claire. Keep me updated. We'll need every bit of strategy and bravery to win this." The days that followed were a whirlwind of activity. Kevin and his team worked tirelessly, coordinating with Earth's allies, seeking support from sympathetic species, and devising battle plans. The Galactic Council, confident in their superior numbers and technology, prepared their own forces, underestimating the resolve of humanity. In the heart of Earth's command center, Kevin stood before a massive holographic display, surrounded by military leaders and strategists. "We have to use our home field advantage," he said, pointing to key locations on the map. "Ambushes, guerrilla tactics, anything to level the playing field." General Hayes agreed. "Our new cloaking technology could give us an edge. If we can strike their supply lines and disrupt their communications, we might stand a chance." As the first clashes began, the true nature of the conflict unfolded. Earth's forces, though outnumbered, fought with unparalleled tenacity. Kevin's leadership inspired confidence, and his strategic brilliance turned seemingly hopeless situations into surprising victories. In one particularly fierce battle, Kevin personally led a strike team to infiltrate and disable a key enemy command ship. The mission was risky, but its success dealt a significant blow to the Council's morale and capabilities. Kevin's bravery and tactical acumen became legendary, further galvanizing the human resistance. Despite these early successes, the war was far from won. Each day brought new challenges, new threats. The Galactic Council, infuriated by their setbacks, intensified their efforts, launching relentless assaults on Earth's defenses. Yet, through it all, Kevin remained steadfast. He knew the fight for Earth's survival would be long and arduous, but he also knew that humanity's spirit was unbreakable. As long as they stood together, they had a chance. One evening, As Kevin looked out at the stars from his command center, he felt a surge of hope. The road ahead was uncertain, but the future of Earth rested in the hands of those who refused to surrender. Now in the boundless space, the Galactic Council's fleets assembled with an air of impending doom. Colossal ships, bristling with advanced weaponry, hovered menacingly as legions of soldiers drilled with mechanical precision. Their technology was unmatched, their numbers overwhelming, and their confidence unshakable. On Earth, preparations took a different form. The human military command, spearheaded by General Catherine Mitchell, had decided on an unconventional strategy. Instead of deploying their elite forces, they sent soldiers considered weaker by traditional standards, betting on the element of surprise and unconventional tactics. Corporal Mike Cooper was among these soldiers. Known more for his ingenuity and quick thinking than brute strength, Mike had earned a reputation for turning the odds in his favor through clever tactics and resourcefulness. His unit, the 15th Tactical Division, was assigned to defend a critical sector, a region vital for Earth's communications and supply routes. As the unit gathered for their briefing, Private Jameson voiced the question on everyone's mind. "Why us?" he asked, glancing at Mike with a mix of confusion and apprehension. Mike's grin was reassuring. "Because sometimes it takes a different kind of strength to win a war," he said. His confidence was infectious, and despite the odds, his words sparked a flicker of hope in his comrades. The 15th Tactical Division's base was a hive of activity. Engineers worked tirelessly to fortify defenses, while scientists collaborated on developing new technologies to counter the Council's advanced weaponry. Amidst the preparations, Mike devised a plan that relied on guerrilla tactics, ambushes, and exploiting the terrain's natural advantages. "Remember," Mike told his team during a strategy session, "we're not here to meet them head-on. We use the environment to our advantage. Hit them hard and disappear before they can react." As the days passed, the unit honed their skills, practicing hit-and-run tactics and mastering the art of stealth. They set traps, rigged explosives, and prepared for the inevitable onslaught. Despite their unconventional methods, a sense of unity and purpose pervaded the camp. One evening, as the unit gathered around a campfire, Mike shared stories of past battles and victories won through cunning rather than sheer force. His tales were not just morale boosters but lessons in strategy and the importance of outthinking the enemy. "Remember the Battle of Andromeda?" Mike recounted. "We were outnumbered 10-1, but we turned the tide by taking out their supply lines. It wasn't about who had the bigger guns, it was about who had the better strategy." His words resonated with the soldiers. They understood that their strength lay not in their numbers or firepower, but in their ability to adapt, think creatively, and fight smart. The night before the anticipated attack, General Catherine Mitchell visited the 15th Tactical Division. "You've been chosen because you embody the spirit of Earth, resilient, resourceful, and relentless. The Council underestimates us, but we will show them that our strength lies in our determination and ingenuity." As dawn broke, the first signs of the enemy's approach were detected. The Galactic Council's ships, sleek and ominous, descended from the sky. Mike and his unit took their positions, hidden among the terrain, ready to execute their plan. The initial assault was brutal. The enemy's advanced weaponry cut through the air, creating explosions that shook the ground. But the 15th Tactical Division was prepared. They launched their ambushes with precision, striking swiftly and retreating into the shadows. The terrain worked in their favor, with dense forests and rocky outcrops providing cover and concealment. Mike led by example, his quick thinking and tactical acumen turning the tide in clash after clash. At one point, he rigged a narrow pass with explosives, luring an enemy patrol into a devastating trap. The explosion echoed through the valley, a testament to human ingenuity and resilience. Despite their success, the battle was not over. The Council's forces regrouped, their determination undiminished. As night fell, the air was thick with tension. The unit knew the hardest part was yet to come. Gathered around a makeshift command post, Mike addressed his team. "We've shown them what we're capable of, but this is just the beginning. We need to stay sharp, stay united. Remember, we're not just fighting for ourselves, but for everyone back home. His words steeled their resolve. They understood the stakes, and they were ready to face whatever came next. The enemy was formidable, but so was their spirit. They had prepared not just for a battle, but for a war they intended to win. Now on the day when aliens launched full-scale assault, skies above Earth darkened as the alien full fleets descended, their arrival heralded by blinding flashes of light and deafening explosions. Chaos erupted across the planet, but amidst the turmoil, Earth's defenders remained composed and resolute. Each soldier knew their role, and each was prepared to fight for their home. Mike Cooper's unit had been assigned to the ruins of an old city, a labyrinth of crumbling buildings and narrow alleyways. The 15th Tactical Division quickly moved into position, setting up ambushes and traps, turning the devastated landscape into a formidable defensive stronghold. As the first wave of alien soldiers advanced, their movements were methodical. But they were unprepared for what awaited them. Hidden among the ruins, Mike and his unit lay in wait. "Fire!" Mike ordered. A barrage of bullets and energy blasts erupted from the shadows, catching the invaders off guard. The aliens, accustomed to straightforward battles, were thrown into disarray by the sudden onslaught. Despite their advanced weaponry, the aliens found themselves outmaneuvered at every turn. The human defenders used the city's ruins to stage hit-and-run attacks, their intimate knowledge of the terrain proving invaluable. From shattered buildings, they launched ambushes, striking swiftly before melting back into the rubble. "How are they doing this?" An alien commander bellowed in frustration as his troops fell back, their formation in tatters. "They underestimated us," Mike said to his unit, his voice steady and determined. "And that's their biggest mistake." The guerrilla tactics employed by the 15th Tactical Division disrupted the alien forces' cohesion. Traps set in narrow streets and hidden mines in crumbling buildings took a devastating toll on the invaders. Mike's unit, though smaller in number, fought with a ferocity and ingenuity that belied their supposed weakness. Private Jameson, crouched beside Mike, marveled at the chaos they had sown. "They're falling apart," he said, his eyes wide with a mix of awe and disbelief. "Keep pushing," Mike urged. "We can't let up now." As the battle raged, the humans' unconventional tactics continued to confound the alien forces. At one point, Mike led a small team through a series of underground tunnels, emerging behind enemy lines to launch a surprise attack. The aliens, caught in a pincer movement, were forced into a desperate retreat. General Catherine Mitchell monitored the situation from a command center deep within Earth's defenses. The reports from Mike's unit filled her with a fierce pride. Their success was a testament to the human spirit, a spirit that refused to be broken, even in the face of overwhelming odds. "Mike, status update," she called over the secure comm link. "We're holding our ground, General," Mike replied, his voice crackling with static but resolute. "The aliens are retreating, but they're regrouping. We need to be ready for the next wave." "Understood. Reinforcements are on the way." "Hold the line." Mike relayed the message to his team. "Reinforcements are coming. We just need to hold out a little longer." The alien forces, stung by their initial defeat, returned with renewed vigor. Waves of soldiers, supported by heavy armor and air support, pressed the attack. But the human defenders were ready. They adapted, using the ruins to shield themselves from aerial bombardment and focusing their fire on key targets. "Take out that walker!" Mike shouted, pointing to a towering alien war machine lumbering through the streets. His unit concentrated their fire, targeting the joints and weak points. The walker staggered, then collapsed in a fiery explosion. Despite the intensity of the battle, Mike remained calm, directing his troops with precision. Each clash, each victory, bolstered their resolve. They were not just defending a city, they were fighting for the survival of their species. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the battlefield, the tide of the battle turned decisively in favor of the human defenders. The aliens, battered and demoralized, withdrew, their once formidable force reduced to a ragged retreat. Mike surveyed the aftermath, his heart swelling with pride. His unit, though weary and battered, stood victorious. They had held their ground against the technologically superior enemy, proving that courage and ingenuity could overcome even the most daunting challenges. "We did it," Private Jameson said, his voice tinged with disbelief. Mike nodded, a determined look in his eyes. "This was just the beginning. The real fight is still ahead. But today, we showed them what we're capable of." Now battle was coming to an end, but it raged on. It became evident that the Galactic Council had severely miscalculated. The humans' unconventional tactics, coupled with their unwavering resolve, shifted the balance. Reports from other fronts echoed the same story. The Council's forces were being systematically decimated. In a desperate bid to regain control, the Council deployed their most powerful weapon, a massive orbital cannon capable of obliterating entire cities. The weapon's presence struck fear into the hearts of many, but even this technological marvel proved ineffective against the human spirit. Using a combination of ground-based artillery and agile space fighters, Earth's forces managed to destroy the cannon before it could fire a single shot. In the final showdown, Mike Cooper's unit faced the last remnants of the alien invaders. Despite being heavily outnumbered, they fought with a ferocity and ingenuity that left the aliens in awe. The ruins of the old city, once a symbol of devastation, now stood as a testament to human resilience and tactical brilliance. As explosions lit up the night sky, an alien officer stumbled forward, dropping his weapon in surrender. "We can't win," he admitted, his voice tinged with a mix of defeat and admiration. "You humans are different," Mike yelled, extending a hand to help the officer to his feet. "We fight not just with our bodies, but with our minds and our hearts." Word of the defeat spread quickly, reaching the Galactic Council headquarters. Supreme Chancellor Drazer, his tentacled face a mask of frustration and realization, understood the futility of continued aggression. Calling for a ceasefire, he addressed the galaxy in a historic broadcast. "The humans have shown us the true meaning of strength," Drazer conceded. "Their resolve and ingenuity have proven that they are a force to be respected." Back on Earth, celebrations erupted. People poured into the streets, their joy and relief palpable. Kevin Marsh, Earth's representative, stood before a global audience, his voice filled with pride and determination. "We stood united against tyranny, and we prevailed," Kevin declared. "Let this be a lesson to all, never underestimate the power of the human spirit." As the sun set over the battle-scarred planet, Mike and his unit gathered to reflect on their hard-fought victory. They were tired and battered, but their spirits were unbroken. Private Jameson, his face beaming, turned to Mike. "We did it," he said, a wide smile spreading across his face. Mike looked out at the horizon, the remnants of the day's battle fading into the twilight. "Yeah, we did," he replied. "And we'll be ready for whatever comes next." The soldiers of the 15th Tactical Division knew that the fight had not been easy, but they had proven that humanity's strength lay in its resilience, creativity, and unyielding resolve. They had faced the greatest threat in their history and emerged victorious, not through sheer force, but through the indomitable spirit that defined them. Humanity's triumph over the Galactic Council was a defining moment, not just for Earth but for the entire galaxy. Other species, inspired by the humans' tenacity, began to reconsider their own struggles and the value of fighting for their freedoms. The lesson was clear: never underestimate the power of humanity. As Earth began the long process of rebuilding and healing, the sense of unity and purpose forged in the fires of conflict remained strong. The future was uncertain, but with leaders like Kevin Marsh and warriors like Mike Cooper, humanity faced it with confidence and hope. The galaxy had learned a valuable lesson, and the legacy of this victory would echo through the stars for generations to come. Hey there! Did you know that 99% of our viewers aren't subscribed? If you're enjoying the content, hit that subscribe button to be the first to know when new videos drop.